C4V.
C4V is a referral to Public Safety Neighborhood Quality of Life Committee, relocate cat colonies away from beach dunes. It has been requested to be separated by Commissioners Dominguez and Commissioner
Gonzalez.
Rosa Gonzalez, yes.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Okay, so I separated this item because instead of a referral to public safety, what I would request the sponsor is to take this item to the Animal Welfare Committee and have a conversation with that group and give your ideas and opinions and all of the great items.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I pulled it too, and my suggestion would be I like sending it to the Animal Welfare Committee. Could we also send it to Finance at the same time? Because I would like to get more funding for cat trappers. And we know that this needs, I know that we got an additional trapper, and it is such a small drop in the bucket. And we know that we have a huge population of people who love cats. I have a cat from the kitty campus, and every time I go back, I end up with another cat, so I can't go there anymore. I can't. And you know, so I feel the love. I do, and I think that this body here, is ready to make a commitment. And I know that Commissioner Suarez is probably shocked by the response to his, to his item on the cats. And we understand how important those colonies are and how many people love them and feed them. And, and that there are some residents out there who are not comfortable with the cats and mistreat the cats, believe it or not, and are terrible. So I think we're all committed to funding more solutions and getting the colony in check. So I would say that if we go to animal rights, could we also go to finance so we get some extra funding so that maybe we can get some trappers and have a dual conversation? I don't know how you feel about that because it's his item, because it's Commissioner Suarez's item.
Yeah.
Commissioner Suarez.
Yep. First of all, I want to say I'm a huge animal lover. Okay, I would never be in a position where I would intentionally want to harm any animal. I don't even like killing cockroaches, to be honest. I usually put them in a cup and I throw them outside. I just want to start there. I have 3 dogs. I raise clownfish as a hobby, so that pet stores don't have to buy them from Indonesia and source them over there and bring them here. So, and I give it away for free. And on top of that, I donate 100% of my salary to Pelican Harbor. I'm a huge animal advocate. But I think there's definitely a growing issue, right, with the number of cats that are breeding and getting larger and larger as the population. And I had a great conversation with Linda last night, and to my surprise, there's 25,000 feral cats in Miami Beach. That's a lot, and in 3 years, that's going to be over 100,000 easy. And what brought me to this item is there have been reports of cat feeders going into the dunes and leaving garbage in the dunes, and I think we can all agree that that's unacceptable. I don't think there should be anyone that goes into dunes to feed the cats, and I'm hoping everyone can agree on that. And but I think and believe it or not, Commissioner Gonzalez said that we have she would like to do something. I actually put that on the May agenda to put serious funding toward spaying and neutering every single cat in Miami Beach over a 6-month period. And that's going to, in all honesty, from what the numbers show, that's going to take millions of dollars. And I'm ready to put an item forward about that, at least whatever staff decides to give us. And it's going to be an all hands on deck with volunteers, private agencies, the county, and the animal services. and doing whatever we can to hopefully find them a home, first of all, because I don't think cats belong in dunes. I don't think that's their habitat. I don't think that I think a much more humane solution would be finding a home for these cats. You know, I have, you know, I did a little research on the issue, and in 2011 and 2012, there were dozens of cases of hookworm, okay, in Miami Beach. And that specifically came from cat poop, because that's where hookworm originates. It starts in cat poop, and it's transmitted by skin contact. So, you know, you can imagine that if you have a cat colony in a dune, and there's no litter box, let's be honest, and there could be poop anywhere. Wind blows, and then there's cat poop on the sidewalk. Someone steps on it. There's a real chance of getting of hookworm. And back in 2011, I believe there were only a couple thousand cats. Correct me if I'm wrong. But now we have a situation where in a couple of years we could have over 100,000 cats, and I'm going to stand firm. I don't believe that a dune is a proper home for a cat. And so, you know, when I looked at the FWC guidelines, you know, and they much rather have local governments handle this, and which is what we're going to do. But, you know, this is straight from the FWC. It is the policy of FWC to protect native wildlife from predation, disease, and other impacts associated with free-ranging cats. According to FWC, feral cats prey on common and rare species of native wildlife in Florida, including rare species listed as threatened and endangered by state and federal government. Cats can be detrimental to wildlife populations. They recommend humanely working with local animal control authorities and human rescue groups to keep feral cats out of, remove from public conservation as humanely as possible. However, the dunes are not technically public conservation lands. With the state and FWC would not come down to implement this policy here. They preferred it to be handled at a local level. You know, so look, I think we really can't put our head in the sand, no pun intended, to this issue, because it's just going to grow. And, you know, when I spoke to Linda, you know, we have a full-time trapper. That full-time trapper can maybe catch and spay 500 cats a year.
Still need to sign off, though.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is that's not even going to make a dent in the program now and the number of cats. And so, you know, my item in May is going to specifically ask staff, what is it going to take, funding wise, to spay and neuter every single cat in Miami Beach over a 6-month period? And, you know, as far as the dunes, as long as we can come to an agreement where that program is successful, and in 6 months' time, every single cat in Miami Beach is spayed and neutered, and we stay on top of the program, then, you know, I think the dune situation will naturally resolve itself over the next decade, and I'm totally okay with that. So that's why I put this item. This item wasn't this item. We were not going to take action today. This item was just a referral to neighborhoods. I don't mind doing a dual referral to Animal Welfare Committee, but I certainly would like to continue the discussion at neighborhoods, and we can have an honest discussion about this, because I don't think that this problem is going to get any better. And so I'd like to hear what my other colleagues.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Thank you. And I was just going to suggest that perhaps a dual referral would be appropriate, because we do have this great committee and they do such incredible work. But I do agree, what is, you know, to the ultimate long-term solution? And that's what we have to be looking at. What is the ultimate long-term solution to control the population even further, and certainly funding. I think Commissioner Rosen Gonzalez mentioned it, but I'm glad that you're working on an item about that. That way we don't have to do a separate referral to finance. You're working on that already on an item for next month. So I'm happy to second your motion. So there's a dual referral to the Neighborhoods Committee and to the Animal Welfare Committee, because we're not really taking action. It was just referring a discussion to see how we plan forward, how we move forward, how we handle humanely this situation. We all love animals, I think, up here. I had a cat till last year, and she passed away, unfortunately. But we all love animals, and I think we're all working towards the same end goal. And mad respect for you guys. I see you guys out there feeding the cats, and not everyone really is that caring, that loving, of that goodness of heart to care about homeless animals like that. And I really have great respect and would love your feedback when it goes to your committee.
Commissioner Bott?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Bott?
Thank you. So I've lived here for 21 years. 13 years of those 21 were in Bayshore, where a lot of plenty of feral cats made their way over. And my girls and I had a little cage that we would trap them in, and we'd bring them to whichever vet we could beg to give us a good price for a neuter or spay. And, we fed them, and they were our extended outdoor family. I will not ever be supportive of trying to relocate them. I think it's not a thing that's reasonable or not reasonable. It's just not realistic. It doesn't address the issue. TNR does, and that is really the only way to move forward to address this issue. And I love cats. I had cats way before I had dogs, and the only reason I don't still is because I became wildly allergic when I hit puberty, so that was fun. I would actually recommend a triple referral. I don't know if that's a thing that we can do, but I think we do need to take a hard look at the numbers, because we are collectively adding a lot of dollars to our budget for next year. Where's Jason? He's probably fainting. But it's an expensive project. It's an important project for the well-being of the city, and we need to figure out how to do it in a responsible way, in addition to all the other factors. Let's not forget that we have multiple vets in our city, and maybe there's something we can do to incentivize, let's say, 100 spays a year, or spays and neuters a year for each of those veterinarian offices. I don't know what the issue is, but we've got to find solutions where the net result is mass TNR if we want to get a handle on this.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to get ready to call for a vote so we can move to the next item.
Sure.
Commissioner Magazine.
When we heard the exciting item earlier about the hard packed sand bike path, my biggest fear is the cat lobby was going to come out against it. We got 500 emails probably in the last 24 hours. So up until this point, this wasn't really something that was on my radar, but I'm an elected representative, and I've heard loud and clear how many of my constituents that this is important to, which by definition means it's now important to me. So happy to support my colleagues in where we're moving with this and be supportive of these items.
And can I make a couple comments before we close it out? And I'm not going to be repeater, Rita.
Yes.
I know you guys have heard a lot of this already. A few things. Hookworm is actually spread by flies. Primarily, it's not a cat thing. Cats bury their feces. Homing feral cats is not possible. They will rip your curtains down. It's just, you can't. So they have to remain outside.
Linda, I'm sorry. Can you state your name just for the record?
Oh, I'm sorry. Linda Diamond. I'm on 400 Alton Road is where I live. I am the president of SoBe Cat Spay and Neuter, also Kitty Campus, also on the Animal Welfare Committee, volunteering on both of those. And this is lovely Holly Whalen,
a program coordinator for the city.
The very first ever. So a couple things I wanted to point out. It's not just a matter of, do we need more trappers? Absolutely, but there's also a shortage of veterinarians. So our outlets to get them trapped and actually fixed is difficult. You mentioned going to veterinarians. There is Miami Vet Foundation that gets grants. We only have one vet on the beach that will do the spay and neuters. We have a truck that we just got in our yard that is run by Darbster. They can't even get enough vets to do. They used to do spay and neuters 2 days a week. Now they do it one because they can't get veterinarians. Out of the blue, Animal Services will close down for 2 days because they don't have enough vets. Then it's difficult to get the people to do the trapping. It has taken us 2 years to get this position approved. Finally, we got someone picked, and we still haven't gotten it signed off on for the salary. It's sitting on someone's desk out there. I don't know whose. So we have an offer we want to put out. We need to get that done. So it's a two-sided issue, trappers and also actually having the surgeries performed. Another thing I wanted to point out is the maps of where the feeding stations are have been carefully picked with the city over the years. This is pages and pages, really 50 pages long. So if the cats were going to crush the dunes, they would have already, because they've been here for over 100 years when they were brought here by Mayor Loomis in 1920. So I don't want to blame anything from the cats in the dunes. There also have been aggressive approaches to cleaning up the dunes because of homeless living in the dunes, because of invasive species of plants living in the dunes. So I think that needs to be looked at. Some of the dunes are lush, some of the dunes are not. And so I can't think we can blame that on the cats. I also wanted to point out that this commission and mayor have been phenomenal about this cat program. We have been approached by Best Cities for Pets, which is a national organization, to do a case study just on the city of Miami Beach's program. That's number one. Number two, Jackson Galaxy, if you've heard of him, he's a world-renowned cat behaviorist. You may remember him from his show on Animal Planet called My Cat from Hell. He approached us, her in particular, at the Humane Society conference because he heard about the City of Miami Beach cat program. He invited us, handpicked us to come to one of his conferences to be a part of that. Also, we have been reached out and done presentations for even the city of Honolulu, who wants to hear about our cat program. So do we have a lot of work to do? Absolutely. COVID crushed us. Spay and neuter clinics were closed down. Those cats were not told they should stop procreating because it was COVID. So after COVID, the problem got exponentially worse. So we do have an adoption facility for those cats that are adoptable. That's also brand new. We've had it for 3 years. We've almost had 1,300 cats put up for adoption, meaning they're not returning to the streets at all, primarily kittens. So we're trying to get them out, and we're trying to get the ones we can fixed. The best situation for any neighborhood is to have a lot of fixed cats, and they will keep away the rats.
Thank you so
let's work
much.
towards that together, and I'm happy to meet with all three committees and make it happen.
The motion on the table is triple referral, one to neighborhoods, one to finance, and one to your committee. Tanya made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. City Clerk, please call the vote.
Well, I have a question. Since the dunes involve sustainability, maybe we can send it to the Land Use and Sustainability Committee too. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Quadruple referral. No, I'm kidding.
How many committees do we have to meet with now?
All the committees, meet with everybody.
So it's a
I can hardly wait.
triple referral. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. The item is referred to Public Safety, Finance, and Animal Welfare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.